Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube, brought to you in part by MNP. We're going to get you set here for the final regular season game of the 2024 season. And to get you set, we're going to send it up to the booth to Thomas and Zach. Take it away, guys.
Well, thank you very much, Rob. Thomas West here alongside Zach Benoit. This is a game that doesn't have a ton of meaning in terms of the standings and in terms of what impact these teams will be playing in the playoffs. They're mostly looking at the other teams to see what they're going to do. Today it's the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers in a game where both teams just want to ride some momentum going into the playoffs. I talked to Dan Marra before the game, and I kind of asked, are you going with the full lineup of guys today? We still are not 100% sure, but he said he would much rather go to a lineup of guys that they've usually seen and try and keep the momentum going. So Zach, you'd have to think that that's kind of the game plan for the Maple Leafs today.
Yeah, and it's probably, get as many guys in the game, get accustomed before that little break before the playoffs start. And then when you're looking at the playoffs, you have a bunch of well-rested guys, a bunch of well-rested people around the lineup. And, a couple of players that haven't been able to get that experience throughout the year, have just kind of been on the bench or whatnot, filling in every once in a while. They get a chance here to play.
Yeah, some of those guys you just saw right there, we expect to be in the lineup. But let's take a look at some of these possibilities for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs. And, I've talked to a lot of players. Dustin Richardson on the broadcast the other day, we were having a chuckle about this because he was so adamant that he did not care what team that they were going to play in the playoffs. And I think that bodes true for a lot of the Toronto Maple Leafs players, but right now it's pretty much between London and Barrie, and they're just kind of waiting to see which one of those two teams is going to be. The situation right now is the Barrie Baycats are looking like the favorite to play the Maple Leafs, so it'll be the 2 versus 7 seed, but London still has 2 games in hand on Barrie and are only a game back. But then again, Barrie's last game is against Brantford. We'll get into that more as the broadcast goes on, but looks like it's going to be the Barrie Baycats right now. But the Maple Leafs, they matched up and had some success against both of these teams.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the Leafs and what they've done really throughout this season, they had that really slow start, and I think that kind of crippled them a little bit in what you expect them to do with the regular season. I think this last month and a half to about 2 month stretch that they've had has really been the Maple Leafs that we expected to see, and the Maple Leafs that the rest of the IBL know it's here. So it should be interesting to see who they match up with against either Barrie or either London. But like you said, they've played good ball against both clubs, and I think the biggest thing was they snapped a really lengthy losing streak against the Barrie Baycats their last time out.
The big player for the Toronto Maple Leafs last time the Maple Leafs played the Barrie Baycats. Obviously, the series is 5-1. The Maple Leafs hadn't won a game against the Barrie Baycats, then they got some momentum going because Connor Lewis hit a massive home run for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the dying moments of the game. In the 8th inning, they were down by 1 run, and then they ended up walking it off later on. But without that Connor Lewis home run, that would have been a completely different story. And then what does he do a couple games later? It's a walk-off home run to pretty much end the Brantford Red Sox chances of making the playoffs this season. A 3-run shot with the Maple Leafs down by 2 and 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. He's a guy that's getting hot at the right time for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and it was really, truthfully, impressive to see. And you look at Connor Lewis's stats, they might not be jumping out at you, but then you look at those 3 home runs and you realize all 3 of those home runs have been pretty big shots this season. The last 2 coming, like you said, in the walk-off fashion, and then to tie things up against the Barrie Baycats. But he has been playing very good ball for this Toronto Maple Leafs club, and they all have confidence in him. You talk to a bunch of the players, we see it up here in the booth. They love him. They have the utmost confidence and utmost respect for him, and it should be really interesting to see. Can he continue that heroics in the playoffs, or is he just gonna kind of go back to just being that platoon guy, but a guy you can count on every single day?
Angel Castro, I had a chance to chat with him. Carlos Verdi was nice enough to do the translation. He had a great start against the Brantford Red Sox. I had a chance to chat with him, and he talked a little bit about the Connor Lewis home run as well. Take a listen. Now by Angel Castro from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Carlos Verdi is going to do the translation for us here again today. Angel, just the outing today. You've been pitching so well lately. What's been going well for you on the mound?
Tirar strike. That's lo más importante en béisbol, tirar strike. Y tú tiras el primer picheo en strike y le das la oportunidad a que los jugadores hagan su jugada. Eso es lo más importante para mí y eso es lo que hemos estado cambiando.
And so he's saying that first, he's throwing strikes. You get ahead of guys, that's going to allow your teammates to do their job behind you, allows you to change things up. But he said the most important thing for him has been throwing strikes and getting ahead of hitters.
Things feel like they're kind of turning around for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They played very, very well lately. As a veteran guy, what's your message to the team down the stretch here?
Que hemos estado jugando más en equipo, cada uno está haciendo su trabajo y yo creo que lo más importante es mantener, jugar en equipo y hacer cada uno nuestro trabajo. Yo creo que eso es lo más importante y que a la fanaticada que vengan a apoyar el equipo, que con Dios por delante, Toronto va a ser campeón este año.
So he's saying they're really playing together as a team, they're picking each other up, and that's something that he's really noted himself. And that, you know, the message to the fan base is get on board because, God willing, this team's going to go deep and be champions this year.
And how we see you yelling on the mound, I know it fires the team up every single time. Just tell me how big a part of your pitching is just the energy that you bring to the mound?
Todo el tiempo, toda mi carrera, yo he sido el mismo, siempre trato de hacer lo mismo y tratar de que mi equipo esté siempre despierto a todo lo que venga y esté concentrado en ganar, porque lo importante en béisbol es ganar y jugar en conjunto y yo creo que eso nos ha ayudado en los últimos juegos, que el equipo se mantiene, que quiere pelear siempre.
So he's saying it's something he's done his whole career, but he said it's something he feels is really important with this group because it gets everybody up, keeps everybody engaged, and he said you've noticed it the last few games. I mean, we saw it Friday in Brantford, short-handed, what he brings to the team, his ability to pick a team up. He said it's something I've always done, and it's something that obviously is helping the team.
What did you think when Connor Lewis hit the home run?
Increíble, sorprendido, pero sabíamos que él podía hacerlo, él tiene la fuerza, él lo ha hecho y gracias a Dios nos salió la cosa bien y eso es lo importante.
So he said, you know, a little bit surprised, but we all knew he had it inside of him. We know he has that power, and, you know, thanks to God, we pulled this one out.
Just really quickly, the last 10 games, this team's looked like it's taken the turn. What do you think the turning point in the season?
Creo que los muchachos están más pendientes a jugar en equipo, que ellos saben que el béisbol es en equipo y que cada uno tiene que hacer su trabajo para poder llegar donde queremos llegar. Y yo creo que como está llegando el playoff, ellos ya se sienten estar en los playoffs, se están preparando para playoffs y yo creo que eso es lo más importante, jugar en equipo y que los muchachos siempre estén pendientes a pelear con quien venga y yo creo que eso nos está manteniendo unidos y eso es lo más importante para nosotros y darle la gracia a Dios, que Dios es que todo lo puede.
So he said everyone's playing together, and they've been brought together as well, you know, learning to fight for one another, and you've seen it, you know, over the last couple weeks, right? Playing together, everybody understands they have a role to play if this team's going to have success, and he said you can feel it with the playoffs coming, everybody's getting up, everyone's understanding their role, and this team's clearly heading in the right direction.
Anno, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Oh, back here at Dominico Field, great to hear from Angel Castro there, and boy, has he ever been performing of late, Zach, and it was really fun to just hear what he thought about Connor Lewis as well, hitting the home run. Funny to see, actually, we got a quote from him that I think will live on for Connor Lewis for a while too, a little bit surprised, but we all knew he had it inside him. And, you know, Connor Lewis has had that power lately for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you know, if Connor Lewis can get going, he's not a bat that they expected to do this, right? We talked to him early in the season, you know, he's very willing to put down a bunt, willing to move runners over. He's a guy who, you know, will find a gap and hit singles with the best of them, but power from Connor Lewis is a huge bonus for Toronto.
Yeah, and I mentioned it in the pregame we had, you know, his bat, he's had some heroics, and like you said, the Leafs didn't really expect that to come from him. You know, he's been one of those guys where he comes to the field every single day. You're going to get a level of production out of him. He's always going to be one of those players to contribute. But the fact that he's gone above and beyond these last couple of weeks, it shows sparks.
Quick break for the national anthems. Be right back. Toronto Maple Leafs and Chatham-Kent Barnstormers getting set to go for the final game of the regular season here at Dominico Field, and it's into the playoffs for both of these two teams. This is the matchup that we have on the mound. It'll be Sam Green against Sam McKinley. Now, I don't know how long either of these two pitchers are planning to go into the game. I talked to Sam Green beforehand, and he's expecting to go 50 to 60 pitches in that kind of range because the Maple Leafs want everyone to be fully fresh before the playoffs. So it'll be Sam Green and then likely a string of bullpen guys as well throughout this game as they just want to get everyone their work and obviously want to try and win a ball game as well. Sam McKinley on the other side of things, he last pitched on August 10th, so he's another guy with a little bit of rest. Sam Green pitched on August 9th in his last game, so obviously trying to get Sam McKinley a little bit of work, but he's a guy who hasn't gone very deep into games lately. Usually he's a one-inning guy, so you think that the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers probably also just trying to get a little bit of work for each of their guys. And Zach, for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, they want to keep things rolling. They've won 2 games in a row, and they'd love to have a nice 3-game winning streak going into the playoffs.
Yeah, for the Barnstormers, want to end that season off on a high. Your inaugural first season here in the IBL. They did a fantastic job, and really at the start of the year when we talked about it, we didn't expect the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers team to be this good. We knew they would have flashes and everything, but you know what? They played a very good brand of baseball all year, and they've really held it through all 42 games.
The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers right now locked into that 5th place spot in the Inter-County Baseball League, and even though the Hamilton Cardinals are behind them right now in the standings and have 1 game to go, they're behind them by 1 game. Hamilton does not have the season series against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, so Chatham-Kent is locked in right there, and they're likely going to play the Guelph Royals in the first round of the playoffs, but they're waiting to see what happens with Guelph and London, and Maple Leafs are waiting to see what happens with London and Barrie as we're underway here at Dominico Field. Spencer Marcus leading things off for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and that one's fouled off. Count 0-2.
Yeah, it should be interesting to really see, how these final matchups shake out over the next couple of days. Like you mentioned, for the side of Toronto, it's just down between Barrie and London, and with Barrie's next game against Brantford, if they win that, it's most likely set in stone that you're going to be playing. You're going to be playing Barrie if you're the Maple Leafs. And
that game against the Barrie Baycats, last game of the season, against the team that is eliminated from the playoffs right now, the Brantford Red Sox. So, obviously they're going to want to win their last game of the year, but the Brantford Red Sox have only won 11 games this season in the Inter-County Baseball League. So you'd think that the Barrie Baycats, who will have motivation to win that game, probably will be trying to win that game as well.
You can also look on the side, of the Brantford Red Sox and play spoiler, certain matchups.
Marcus hits it on the ground to Jose Vinicio. Throw to first in time. And that is out number 1. Let's take a look at how the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers line up today. It's Spencer Marcus hitting leadoff. Anthony Polowick is hitting second. Seth Strong batting third. Cleanup is Braxton Haggith, Josh Williams, Sadler Goodwin, Spencer Morin, Torin Vaselnik, and Greg Kemble for Chatham-Kent. Toronto Maple Leafs line up defensively with a pretty traditional lineup. They got Ryan Dos Santos out in left field, Connor Lewis in center, Marcus Connect in right, John Solazo at third, Vinicio at short, Dan Marra at second, and Mike Cicchetto at first base. Justin Marra doing the catching for Green. This one's popped up. John Solazo giving it a look out in front of the dugout, and he makes the catch. Great play by John Solazo. He had no room there in front of his own dugout. He was able to avoid the fence and make the catch.
Yeah, you can see a couple of players. I believe that's Rob Butler down there that was hustling out of the way, not be in the way of John Solazo coming through.
Rob Butler back after a 3-game suspension, which many players were suspended a game against the Barrie Baycats. And look who the Maple Leafs are lined up to play in the first round of the playoffs. That could be interesting. There has been fireworks so far between those two teams. The Maple Leafs have not fared very well against Barrie this season, but that last game that had all the fireworks in it, they won. So they lost the season series 5-1, but have a little bit of momentum against the Baycats, and they're looking at Barrie right now and thinking that's a very possible first round playoff matchup. Seth Strong takes low. Out 1-1 on him. Seth Strong still hitting .346 this season for the Barnstormers. 15 homers, leads the Intercounty Baseball League. And he hits one high and deep. Is this one gonna stay fair? It is foul. Very, very close down the line. It had plenty of distance for Spencer Marcus. In fact, he's arguing with the first base umpire a little bit. John Solazo right now, the guy behind Seth Strong in the IBL home run race, and looks like he's going to stay there unless he puts up a 4 spot today.
Yeah, I think Seth Strong has held on to that title for this year.
Yeah, 15 home runs. That will do it in almost any year. You know, there's some discussion here at first base about whether that ball was fair or foul. Where the ball landed in the outfield, it was foul. That was definitely in foul territory, but
it all depends on where it crosses over that foul pole.
Yeah.
And again, it is tough to see down the lines here, just because, you know, the poles, they don't shoot up about 20, 30 feet. You know, they're not that high. So the umps use the best judgment that they can here, Dominico Field.
The 1-2 in the dirt. That's the kind of power that Seth Strong has. Not everyone has been able to hit it over that big wall out there in right field this season. The 2-2 from Green. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Seth Strong thought he'd hit a home run. Instead, Sam Green gets the 1-2-3 inning. He's on a short pitch count today against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and he was efficient in that first. We'll be right back. Well, that's Sam McKinley getting loose for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. He's going to start this game today. I don't have any insight on how many innings Sam McKinley is going to go, but his longest outing this season was a 4-inning affair against the Brantford Red Sox that came back on June 8th, and he's mostly just been a 1-inning guy for Chatham-Kent. I'm not sure if they're hoping for him to kind of take the bulk of some of this, or maybe just a rotating cast of pitchers like we're probably going to see for the Maple Leafs, just getting everyone a little bit of work before the playoffs start.
Yeah, and you know, that's probably what the best case scenario is just he's going out there giving a couple innings and then just kind of continue to keep arms fresh there for the side of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. This is Jose Vinicio leading things off for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's got that batting average up to .242 this season for Toronto. It's hitting down in the 210s, 212s for a lot of the season, but it's slowly climbing up, and this is the right time for Maple Leafs hitters to start getting hot. As Vinicio
whacks this one foul to the left.
And I think for Jose Vinicio, you know, the start of the season, even by his standards, it was just a very slow start. You know, he didn't really come in. It seemed like he didn't have that full plan at the plate. But as the season's gone on and he's gotten more and more reps at the plate, he looks like that comfortable hitter again. He looks like he's having a good time again playing this game, and he's made some phenomenal defensive plays. And we're just still waiting to see that bat come alive to what it was last year.
Here's the 0-2 from McKinley, and it's up and away, ball 1. Jordan Castaldo on deck for the Maple Leafs. Talked to Dan Marra before the game about whether the Maple Leafs were going to go with their full lineup today, as Vinicio pops this one up on the infield. And that's the second baseman, Anthony Polowick, making the catch. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs today. That was Jose Vinicio leading off. Jordan Castaldo is at the plate now, batting second. Justin Marra batting third, doing the catching. John Solazo at third base, and he will hit cleanup. Batting fifth is Ryan Dos Santos out in left field. Marcus Connect is batting sixth. Dan Marra is batting seventh. Mike Giacchetto playing first base and batting eighth. And Connor Lewis, who's been red hot for the Maple Leafs lately, or at least in clutch situations, is the center fielder batting ninth. Interesting decision to put Connor Lewis in the number 9 spot there. I think the thinking there is kind of, you know, someone that can get on base
Most
for the top
likely,
of the lineup.
And, you know, if it starts to work here, maybe it's something you roll out come playoff time just to try to see, you know, just get on base and get RBI chances for guys like Jose Vinicio, Jordan Castaldo, and Justin Marra at the top of that lineup.
Yeah. With this being the last game of the season, it's also the last chance for managers to kind of, you know, tinker around, see any last-minute things they want to see about their lineup. Mike Giacchetto is back in the lineup for the Maple Leafs. He's a guy who was red hot after he took a suspension in the game against Barrie. And I'm sure that Rob Butler, the coaching staff, kind of just put him in there saying, has he still got it going into the playoffs? You know, there's nothing more they would like to see than, you know, a 2-hit game from Mike Giacchetto today, right?
Exactly. It's a guy, you know, again, he was swinging a red-hot bat through the first 6 games. Bat 500 through the first 6 games he had with the Maple Leafs. And, you know, it's just something you want to see. And it's very helpful for this lineup.
2-1 here on Jordan Castaldo. Swing and a miss, and the count's 2-2. We're going to get some insight from some Toronto Maple Leafs players on the broadcast today as well. We're expecting that not everyone's going to be in the game the whole time, so we'll try and get some of the position players if they come out of the game early. We're also going to talk to Adam Marra in the bullpen for the Toronto Maple Leafs next inning. Here's the 2-2, and it just misses outside, and the count's full.
Yeah, it should be interesting really to get some more insight. Just again, you know, like you said, from some of the position guys, because we've been talking with a lot of the bullpen arms, and it'd be nice to, you know, get a conversation with some of the regular day, everyday starters.
The 3-2 is fouled off. Jordan Castaldo battling here against Sam McKinley. He's going to throw his 7th pitch of the at-bat. And it's inside, ball 4. A hard-earned walk for Jordan Castaldo, and that brings a big power threat in Justin Marra to the plate.
And, you know, we saw that lengthy and pretty historic and iconic on-base streak by Castaldo come to an end a couple games ago. But it's good to see, you know, in this final game, he didn't let that affect him. He still has a great approach at the plate. He works himself a phenomenal at-bat, and he gets rewarded with a walk.
Yeah. Jordan Castaldo's not going to take the walk crown this year, as he does so often in the Inter-County Baseball League, because his teammate Ryan Dos Santos just did some ridiculous stuff at the beginning of the season and swiped it away. At one point, strung together 10 walks and 11 plate appearances.
Yeah, I think it was over a 3-game span, maybe a 4. He had 17 walks.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just unheard of.
Yeah. Just a remarkable number. The 1-1. This one's lined to center field, but it's right at the center fielder, Spencer Marcus. And that's the second out.
Yeah, and I think majority of the guys in the lineup right now, they kind of understand, like, this game doesn't really have that much impact on them. It's just more so go out there, get your reps in, feel good, have a good feel for the ball, and then, you know, if you swing a hot bat this game, bring that into the playoffs.
John Solazo at the plate now for the Maple Leafs, hitting .309 on the season. Solazo was 0 for 4 in his last game against the Welland Jackfish. That was a 5-2 loss for the Maple Leafs. That came last night. But against the Kitchener Panthers, went 3 for 5, hit a home run. I know he was kind of trying to get back in the groove. We've seen a lot of hits from John Solazo, but not a lot of multi-hit games lately. And, you know, he's a guy that's just set the bar so high with the power numbers and the batting average that he puts up season after season. John Solazo has hit .333 in each of the last 2 seasons. .309 this year. The 1-1 outside.
And he's just a guy that kind of carries himself so professionally, right? You know, you come to the ballpark every day, you're going to see John Solazo getting his reps in, getting his work done. But then, you know, when you blink, the season's over, you see he's put up another fantastic season for you.
Yeah, you got to go back to the summer of 2018 when Solazo didn't hit .300. That was really the only down year Solazo's ever had in the Intercounty Baseball League. Only hit 3 home runs in 26 games that season and batted .259. But other than that, just straight .300 seasons for Solazo. The 2-1. Up and away now, 3-1. And Solazo has worked himself into that 3-1 hitters count. Sam McKinley delivers the 3-1. And Solazo takes outside ball 4. 2 walks in the inning for the Barnstormers McKinley. And that brings the guy who's leading the Intercounty Baseball League in that department, Ryan Dos Santos, to the plate.
Yeah, and Dos Santos has had himself a phenomenal season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I mean, you know, when you get that kind of level of production out of a guy who's, you know, we said at the start, he's a free swinger, but he led the league in walks. I mean, it's something like that. That's just, it's a very impressive season.
First pitch in there for a strike to Ryan Dos Santos. The 0-1. And that one finds the outside corner, so Ryan Dos Santos has found himself in unfamiliar territory. He's behind 0-2.
How many times, though, in the last 3-4 weeks have we seen 0-2 counts to him and he just works it back to full?
Quite often. To have the kind of streak that he put together, you got to do that. The 0-2 on the ground. This one's to short. Veselnik picks it up, whips to first in time to get the out. Apologies, that's actually Sadler Goodwin playing shortstop for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, but a heck of a play either way. 2 runners on in the inning, but Sam McKinley and the Barnstormers find a way to work around a couple of walks. We'll be right back in the top of the second. Well, Braxton Haggith comes to the plate for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. You know, obviously this game isn't going to have any impact on the standings at the end of the year, but it's guys like this, and this is going to help, that want to get a base hit in their final game, because before that base hit, Braxton Haggith was sitting .299.
Yeah, I want to get over that 300 marker, and that'll help right there.
Now he's hitting .304. Well, here's another guy that's hitting 300 on the season, but in very limited appearances. Josh Williams for the Barnstormers. Josh Williams is playing a little bit for Hamilton in the Intercounty Baseball League and acquired by Chatham-Kent before the trade deadline. So Williams has had just 16 at-bats with his new team so far. Here's the 1-0. Williams lines it back up the middle. Scooped up by Dan Marra. He goes to Vinicio, and that's a tailor-made double play for the Maple Leafs. Boy, that was a hard hit ball there by Williams, but it was in the perfect spot, and the Maple Leafs have really turned this inning in their favor.
Yeah, great pitch by Sam Green to get Williams to hit that, and he's working well.
Green went off speed, and he was just a little bit out in front. So now nobody on, and it's the shortstop, Sadler Goodwin. What a play he made at shortstop to save his own pitcher a couple of runs. Fielded a ground ball at shortstop. Got the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers out of a jam with two Maple Leafs on the base path. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt, and the count's 1-1. Sam Green has pitched to an ERA of 5.44 this season in 46 1/3 innings pitched. And he's got his fair share of strikeouts over that stretch as well. He's got 48 of them. Green has had an up and down season, but has found a lot of consistency lately for Toronto. Here's a line drive into center field. That one's going to get down. Fielded out there in center by Connor Lewis. And with 2 outs, the Barnstormers have a runner on. Green was the victim of one of those games last time the Maple Leafs played the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. It was a 22-11 win for Toronto. Sam Green went 4 innings and gave up 8 earned runs, which really hurt the earned run average for Sam Green. There's just a couple of games that you can point to this season that have been outliers. But other than that, he has been very, very solid for Toronto. And although he did give up 8 earned runs, it was enough to get the win for Toronto, as his offense behind him put up 22. And it just seemed like on that night in Chatham-Kent, everything was flying out of the ballpark. Justin Marra hit 3 home runs for Toronto. Just everything was either falling for a base hit or sailing over the wall. Here's the 0-1 to Spencer Morin, and that one's outside. Spencer Morin is hitting .302 on the season and just 53 at-bats for Chatham-Kent. Torin Veselnik is on deck, hopeful of an at-bat. The 1-1. In there for a strike. Spencer Morin resetting after that one. He thought that might have been up and in. Green trying to get out of this. The 1-2 is hit in the air. This has got a bit of weight behind it, but it's caught in front of the wall by Marcus Connect, and that'll get Sam Green and the Maple Leafs out of the inning. Still 0-0 between Toronto and Chatham-Kent, and Adam Marra will join the broadcast when we come back. All right, welcome back to Dominico Field. Pleased to be joined now by Adam Marra from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Adam, how's it going down there in the bullpen?
Not too bad, Thomas. Thanks for having me out. It's good. It's a regular day at the field. Not doing too much, just stretching. We don't do too much till about the 5th or 6th. And if Saint keeps going, we're not going to be doing anything today.
So, what are these games like for you guys? I know, obviously this game isn't going to impact the standings at all, but I talked to your brother before the game, and he was saying, this is kind of one of those games where you just want to keep the momentum rolling.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We're gonna let Sam go if he's feeling good, but really, in terms, especially of the staff, we're gonna try and get everybody in. I actually think we have a few guys that need to get eligible, but we really just want to, exactly what Daniel said, keep that momentum rolling. We've been playing pretty good the last couple of games. I think we're 8-7-3 maybe, and so if we can just keep that going. This for us, the biggest thing is keeping the bats hot, because that's going to be a deciding factor in this. It looks like, I guess it's looking like Barrie for that first round, and they got 2 pretty good pitchers. So if we can just keep the bats hot for the next, week or so, and stop doing things like that, grounding it, it's unbelievable. That home run earlier, fellas, was that fair? How'd that look?
We thought it was foul up here in the broadcast booth. It looked like it went into foul territory, but
it was definitely close.
Obviously,
it was close.
Yeah, obviously the one that's very close. Hey, look, this Chatham-Kent Barnstormers team is, not a guy that you're going to face in the first round of the playoffs or anything like that. It looks like it's going to be the Barrie Baycats or London Majors. How are you guys feeling about that?
Pretty confident. I'll be honest. Going around the room, talking about it, I mean, obviously our season has not shown up. Like the numbers aren't reflecting it, but we got an old group, and we tend to heat up towards the end of the year. We save our bullets. Between London and Barrie, our better matchup is probably London, to be honest. But we're still confident against Barrie. Again, they got 2 pitchers. They got Garces and I believe it's Rosado. We haven't seen Rosado yet. I think once early in the year. A lot of our guys haven't seen him.
Yeah.
But Garces, he's good, but he's nothing overpowering. And we got some pretty good right-handed bats in the lineup that'll definitely get to him. And so our game plan with them is we're going to be working them down. As long and that bat as you can have, try and get them out of the game as early as we can, try and get to their bullpen, because they got a closer that's decent. But other than that, I think our guys match up very well against their bullpen.
It would certainly be an interesting situation if you guys didn't play the Baycats and it was London. I know you guys have had so much history in the last couple of years playing against the London Majors. Something I know that's really special for you and your brothers. I mean, it's not every day you have 3 brothers on the same team in any sport. But I know that that's something that's kind of special for you guys when you're thinking about trying to make a playoff run. I talked to your brother Justin, and he said, just how important it was not just to win for you guys, but to do it together.
Absolutely. Come on. Oh, sorry. Nothing goes our way sometimes. That's all right. It's a big deal, for me at least. Exactly like you said. Growing up, these guys were always doing a lot of cooler things than me. Justin was getting drafted, Daniel's playing Division I, so it's a big deal for me to be playing with them on the same field. And because of that, I really, really want to get a championship with them. I don't know if either of them have won a championship in their history, other than Little League. So it'd be a first for all of us. And that means that much more, the fact that we're all playing together. And I look up to them quite a bit in terms of baseball. So it'd be cool for me, really cool for me.
Adam, I know, you have a bit of a unique way that you pitch on the mound. We've kind of talked about your pitching philosophy and just, the fact of how important throwing strikes is. Can you tell us a little bit about, just what you're thinking about when you're on the mound?
Absolutely. My philosophy is throw it slow and then throw it slower. Those are the only 2 I got. No, I'm kidding. Again, strike 1 is the most important. My last outing wasn't great, but Basically, what you gotta do. Am I on camera?
You are, yes.
Oh, cool. From where? Up there?
Yeah, for the booth. You see me waving?
Cool. Sort of. I got bad eyes, which is becoming more and more of a problem this year. My philosophy, honestly, especially because I don't overpower anybody. And I used to have a lot more movement, and it's flattening out, it's starting to get to that danger zone. So my biggest focus is getting strike one, even though the last 2 outings hasn't really happened. Because once I get strike one, I have a game plan. Like it becomes much easier to get out. So, I try not to. A lot of these guys, guys that throw hard, guys that bring the juice. I'm not like that because I don't got it anymore. So my biggest thing is all about feel. Like, not worrying so much about the way my body feels, just the way I'm releasing it. And that's my philosophy mechanically. Like, I got to make sure that my mind is in the right place. And I'm reaching out front and getting it in the zone. Because once you get strike one, I don't know what the average is, but batters in a strike, like down 0-1, it's like they're hitting like 200, down 0-2, it's like 100 or whatever it is. So I just really, it's like my biggest pitch of the at bat is not towards the end. It's the first pitch. It's got to be a strike, and sometimes it happens where even with guys that throw, you get behind in the count. These hitters are a lot better than people let on. They get in hitters counts. They're taking healthy swings, and we got to try to avoid letting hitters get in healthy swings. And the fine line between that is not taking it like, yeah, we want it, and I do want it. And I know I just talked the whole time about how serious it is, but at the same time, you can't beat yourself up. It's got next pitch is just as important as the one right now. It's you want that strike one, but I think a lot of our guys they fall behind, and then they're burning their tires trying to get back in the count. But again, as of late, all of our pitchers kind of been on the same page with getting ahead, getting comfortable on the mound, no matter how you're feeling. Get that, eliminate the distractions. Sam absolutely dicing today, feeling good, by the way. And Sam as well, been a great pitching coach. Helps us all keep our focus where it should be, as opposed to, you got some guys worrying a lot about mechanical things, and those are all distractions when it comes to getting guys out.
Yeah,
you got to worry about that stuff in the offseason. Actually, Lewis made a good point earlier. He said it looked like we're throwing it with a lot more conviction, and we are. I think that's where it comes from, is not worrying so much about things that are distractions, like throwing it hard or getting the right spin rate or whatever they're teaching nowadays. Just getting it in the zone early and often, and then being smart with the next pitches.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Adam, we love watching you pitch. We'll let you get back to your routine in the bullpen, and good luck in the playoffs. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you, Thomas. Thanks for having me. We love you. We love you guys.
Thanks,
so
Adam.
much.
Adam Marra from the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think there's a good chance that we see him in this game just to get, maybe an inning of work. And he is a fascinating pitcher if you haven't seen him before. Doesn't blow people away with velocity, but his philosophy is strike one, and he's got some nasty stuff on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sam Green gets a strikeout to start the inning, and now facing Kemble. And Kemble fouls this one off, and the count's 2-2. Adam Marra also has a couple brothers on the team, Justin and Dan. They've been long-time Toronto Maple Leafs, and this organization would not be the same without the Marra brothers. If Dan comes out of the game early today, we might get him up in the broadcast booth as well, so it'd be cool to get his perspective on things as well. Here's a high chopper. This could be a tough play. John Solazo barehands it, whips to first, and it's not quite picked out by Chatham. Mike Chatham looked like he had it in his glove. It would have been a heck of a pick if he got it, but it just squirted out at the last moment, so that'll probably be an infield hit for Greg Kemble. And that is what they score it. Back to the top of the order, Spencer Marcus. Marcus 0 for 1 today. Hegeth Goodwin and Kemble, now the 3 with hits against Green so far. And this one's hooked to left towards foul territory and out of play. And I think that was caught. Bobby Armstrong made a dive at it down the left field line, and he's come up with it like he's caught the ball, and I believe that's the first catch for Bobby this season. That one might have to be under replay review, though. I don't know. The 0-1, that one misses just outside to Spencer Marcus. Marcus hitting .355 on the season, leads his team, the Barnstormers. 1-1. Marcus takes outside. Chatham-Kent rolling through the second time through the order here in the 3rd inning. There's a strike. Yeah, you can see the graphic up top there. Charlie Towers is warming up in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. Charlie Towers is not a pitcher.
I wouldn't take that too much into consideration.
Yeah, you think so? This one's on the ground to third. Solazo picks it, whips to first, and it's not in time. Oh boy, John Solazo has had 2 very difficult plays at third base, but man, he has been very close to making a sensational play on either of them, on both of them. So 2 infield hits for the Barnstormers, and they have something brewing here against Sam Green. That is Charlie Towers in the bullpen, warming up. Let's see how his delivery looks. Yeah.
So when I was down there when he walked over and he says, "Guys, I'm just bored."
Oh, so he's not actually pitching?
To my knowledge, he isn't. He just wanted to go out and see if he can do it. And I think that's what's happened. I could be wrong, but that's what I heard while sitting down there.
He looks pretty good. I mean, I've watched him a couple of times. He's throwing strikes. Sam Green's first pitch up and in. What do you think Sam Green thinks when he looks down and he's got a position player warming up in the bullpen?
He's probably like, "Guys, what is going on?"
Guys, I'm fine.
I feel great.
Infield hits, I'm fine.
I feel great. My arm's fine.
This is Anthony Polowick, the second baseman. Line drive over the head of Jose Vinicio. The line keeps rolling for Chatham-Kent. They're going to hold everyone where they are. Mike Giacchetto came in aggressively over the mound to cut that ball off, and the bases are loaded with no one out for Chatham-Kent. By the way, we looked it up, and Charlie Towers didn't have any experience in college pitching when he was playing for Humber.
No.
I guess you would have some insight on that as well, calling the Humber Ox games.
Yeah, to my knowledge, unless there was a game I missed where they played at home, he never had an appearance.
Seth Strong at the plate. 15 home runs. Missed one by what he thinks was 0 feet, but what by the umpires say was a very fine margin in the first inning. And now he has a chance to do some real damage here against the Maple Leafs. Two infield hits for Chatham-Kent, and then a solid base hit for Anthony Polowick. Seth Strong with 35 RBIs on the season. Raul Gonzalez leads the Intercounty Baseball League in RBIs, but I mean, if Seth Strong were to say hit a grand slam here, he'd have 39 and it'd be just 3 shy of first place in RBIs in the IBL. Remember, this is the last game of the season for Chatham-Kent. Oh, and he just missed this one. He pops it up. Mike Giacchetto over towards the fence. Does he have room? Oh, not quite. I'm not sure if that ball hit off the fence or not. Either way, the fence was a big factor, as I think that the glove might have bounced off the fence, causing him not to catch that baseball. I don't think the ball hit the fence, but just a little bit too close to the metal. So another life here for Strong.
Tough play to make, though, coming from a first baseman running like that. You know you have the fence in front of you.
There was a point in the season where Seth Strong was looking like a serious Triple Crown threat. It's the 0-2 pitch from Green. And the bat goes out of the hand of Strong. Home for one. First for two. A big double play for the Maple Leafs, and they will get out of the inning. Boy, I don't know what happened on that play. The bat came flying out of the hands of Seth Strong when he hit that ball, and it was an easy home to first double play for Sam Green, and we remain scoreless here at Christie Pitts. Bottom of the third, top of the order for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jose Venicios at the plate, and Noah Richardson is on the mound for Chatham-Kent. So as we suspected, a short outing for Sam McKinley, and the next reliever is Noah Richardson. Noah Richardson hails out of Windsor, Ontario, an ERA of 7.54 this season and a 3-1 record for the Barnstormers. Richardson has pitched in 14 games for Chatham-Kent, and 13 of them have been in relief. Although the ERA is a bit high for Richardson, the stuff is there, and he is going to strike a lot of guys out. It's just about commanding the strike zone this season for him. He's pitched in 22 2/3 innings, and he struck out 34 batters. Huge numbers, but 33 walks are what's been the issue. The 1-2. On the ground towards third. Foul into the Maple Leafs bullpen. Richardson had a good inning against Guelph and an important one, as it was part of a 7-6 win for the Barnstormers in his last appearance. He actually extended things against Guelph an outing before that, as this one's lined into the outfield. Base hit for Jose Vinicio. Richardson went 3 innings in the outing prior.
And again, it's probably, we mentioned at the start of the game, just a revolving door of arms, get guys ready for the playoffs. And, it's also a big lefty on the mound for a lineup that has, a ton of lefties in it.
Yeah, Jose Vinicio, a switch hitter, and Castaldo and Justin Marra, both lefties coming up. The big thing for Richardson right now is that he's throwing strikes against the Maple Leafs. Just delivered 1 ball in his first 6 pitches. Castaldo swings and misses, strike 2. Richardson jumps out ahead. Well, Richardson would love to induce a ground ball here from Jordan Castaldo. Throw to first to keep Jose Vinicio honest. Richardson is wary of the kind of speed that Vinicio has over there at first base. If there's ever a time to steal a base or maybe play a bit of hit and run, this could be it. Great contact hitter at the plate, Jordan Castaldo, and speedy Vinicio at first. Vinicio not going. The pitch to Castaldo, swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a high up and in fastball.
Yeah, that's a tough pitch, especially it coming out of a lefty's hand like that. That ball tailing up and in, it's hard to not lay off of that pitch. And good pitch right there by Richardson.
Well, last time Justin Marra faced the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, he hit 3 home runs. And the first pitch is up high from Richardson. Justin Marra at the time had only hit 3 homers on the season, then burst himself onto the season. Now he's hit 7. Here's the 1-0.
I'd say it's pretty good to double your home run total in one game.
Sure is. Richardson finds the inside corner, and it's 1-1. None of those Justin Marra home runs came against Noah Richardson. Two and 1 the count on the Maple Leafs catcher. The big lefty to the plate. Vinicio goes, and the throw is dropped by the catcher Greg Kemble, so that allows Jose Vinicio to get to second base easily, but Zach, he had a monster jump over there at first base.
Yeah, I think even if the throw went down, he most likely had second base secured. A great jump by Jose Vinicio, and that's also something the Leafs have been hoping to see more of. It's just his base stealing ability. That's
stolen base number 12 on the season for Jose Vinicio. And he's still dancing around. He might be feeling himself a little bit. And now that stolen base is all for naught as Justin Marra takes his walk.
Good plate appearance by Marra again. And I mean, it just seems like he's seen the ball extremely well over the last little bit. And that's massive for the side of the Maple Leafs, again, heading into the playoffs.
Well, John Solazo isn't going to catch Seth Strong. Probably not going to catch Seth Strong in the home run race.
I was going to say, you can't.
He'd need 4. Yeah, he'd need 4 more home runs this game to do it. But he is trying to fend off Raul Gonzalez and the Kitchener Panthers, who's behind him. Solazo would love to finish second rather than third, or even 4th. Kitchener still has 2 games to play. Parsons and Gonzalez are right behind him with 10 and 9 home runs respectively. So, you know, if you're looking for some individual missions for some of these players in this game, that might be one of them for John Solazo, not just to get hot and stay hot into the playoffs, but also Solazo has a lot of pride in the home runs that he hits.
And they're usually monster shots.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of them be the wall scraper, like the one in Chatham-Kent, but other than that, when he gets a hold of a baseball, it goes.
That one found the outside corner, so now the count's 1-2. Noah Richardson trying to work out of this thing. The 1-2 to Solazo. It's low. 2-2. Ryan Dos Santos is on deck. The 2-2. On the ground, this could be 2. To second for 1, on to first, not in time. John Solazo hustling down the first baseline, and Solazo's been, you know, kind of dealing with a nagging injury, and you could see he was kind of limping after that sprint down to first base.
Yeah, obviously for the Maple Leafs, especially the health, you know, going into the playoffs with a guy like Solazo, it's massive to have. So you hope, you know, it doesn't hurt anything.
Dos Santos at the dish. First pitch is low and inside. What a season it's been for Ryan Dos Santos, hitting .329 on the year. Leads his team in terms of qualified at-bats.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was also the Iron Horse this year for the squad. Double check that.
That's the most games.
Yep. Appeared in every game. And it is. This is the 42nd game of the season. He is the only player on the roster to have appeared in all 42 games.
And leading his team in batting average while he does it. How about
Yep.
that? 3-0 on Dos Santos. And he takes a strike. And another one on the outside corner, strike 2, that counts full. Ryan Dos Santos played its college baseball at Southwestern Oklahoma. Been here with the Maple Leafs for quite some time. It's up and in, ball 4. That one buzzed the ear of Ryan Dos Santos, and he takes another walk. 40 of them now on the season for Dos Santos.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think. At one point in this year, he was at, I think it was 22. The strikeout to walk ratio, I believe, at one point was 38 and 22, and now, right now, it sits at. What was he doing his first at bat? It sits at 38 and 41, or 39 now and 41, I should say.
This is Marcus Connect, the former third-round draft pick of the Toronto Blue Jays in the 2017, was it, MLB draft? 2010 MLB draft. This one's hit on the ground sharply towards third, and that's a base hit. One run comes in to score. The Maple Leafs keep them loaded and lead 1-0 over Chatham-Kent.
And that was a similar hit we saw by Marcus Connect that he had in his first at-bat, too, where he just lined a ball to the third baseman. This time, it was just a little bit to the left, so he was able to get it through that gap.
So Dan Marra comes to the dish. Riding a 4-game hit streak right now. Had a couple of knocks against the Welland Jackfish. And slowly letting that batting average climb once again. Sitting around the 250s at the midpoint of the season. Now it's got it up to 277. And And then Mike Cicchetto, who has been maybe the hottest hitter on the Toronto Maple Leafs when he's playing. Batting .400 is on deck. This is a line drive, diving catch at second base by Anthony Polowick. Oh, what a play. And that ends the inning. The Maple Leafs get one, but Anthony Polowick saves a bunch for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. The Maple Leafs have the lead here at Dominico Field. Well, back here at Dominico Field, this is a motivated Toronto Maple Leafs team after a slow start to the season, really turning things around late, trying to get a win here against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. And I had a chance to talk to Angel Castro about his thoughts on this Toronto Maple Leafs team, and he had a message for the fan base this season. He said, get on board, because God willing, this team is going to go deep and be champions this year. That was Angel Castro speaking after the game against the Brantford Red Sox, where he pitched very well. And I mean, that's the message I think a lot of Maple Leafs have been saying this season. You know, it's just a matter of time before they turn things around. And they are turning it around lately. They've had a very strong back half of the season. And if I'm looking at the London Majors and Barrie Baycats battling it out for second place in the Intercounty Baseball League, I don't know if you want second base. You're going to have to play the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, there might be better options than finishing second right now in the Intercounty Baseball League to face the team that's been to the IBL Finals the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, and I mean,
or
the Leafs,
not the last two, but two of the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, the Leafs have just been a hot squad, really, for the second half of the season. And I think it really kind of came down to guys understanding, you know, we have not played up to our potential in the first half. And after that All-Star break happened, it seemed like a switch was flipped.
High fly ball by Braxton Haga. Dos Santos on left makes the catch. Right now, the London Majors, who are in 3rd place, would match up against the Hamilton Cardinals, who are in 6th place. Hamilton they've been really scuffling to finish out the season. They're 5-5 in their last 10, but the Maple Leafs have 7 wins in the last 10 games, trying to make it 8 here. Josh Williams at the plate, takes a first pitch strike from Sam Green. For the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, they're not sure who they're going to face, but we think it's going to be the Guelph Royals. There's still a scenario where it's London. If London loses a couple games and Guelph wins a couple games, that would flip-flop the standings and they play London. There's a swing and a miss, and the count's 0-2. But, I mean, the Guelph Royals have lost 4 games in a row right now. That might not be a bad matchup for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. We know that they have some serious pitching But in terms of the lineup, that would be London who holds the advantage. So not sure who the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers would want to play right now.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Some of these matchups, you in the playoffs, you think maybe it can go one way, but don't be surprised if one of these teams could make an upset. Like you said, Chatham-Kent has played very good baseball all season long. Hamilton Cardinals, they've had some pretty hot stretches.
Green's 0-2 is up and away. The funny thing about the end of this season is that there's only 2 teams that have played above 500 baseball in their last 10 games to finish out the season. One is the Welland Jackfish. The other is the Toronto Maple Leafs. That pitch just missed from Sam Green. He wanted it, and the count runs to 2-2. And Welland has had to win 6 games in a row just to get to that 7-3 in their last 10. Well, we talked about them scuffling for a bit. Did they ever turn that around? The 2-2, and that one does find the outside corner, strike 3 call.
It's a beautiful pitch right there by Green. And, we talked about wondering how long he would go in this game. Well, he's still in it. He's still rocking and rolling.
Looks like it's going to be the Guelph Royals playing the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers in the first round. All of these matchups are just going to be fascinating in the IBL. Sadler Goodwin, the shortstop at the plate. The London Majors and Kitchener Panthers were supposed to play today. Nightmare time for games to get postponed, and this one did. They're going to play that game tomorrow. So right now it's the Guelph Royals leading the Brantford Red Sox right now. That's the only other game going on this Sunday afternoon. By the way, we are expecting rain very shortly here at Dominico Field, somewhere between 3 and 4 o'clock. So that's coming up.
Shall I pull up the radar?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it doesn't
Just
look
a
good.
little bit.
Doesn't look good. We don't have a visual on it right now, but we are in the line of fire. Sam Green gets another strikeout. 2 in the inning, and he's pitched some clean baseball for the Toronto Maple Leafs through 4. It's the Maple Leafs leading 1-0 over Chatham-Kent. Back here at Dominico Field, big cut and a miss by Mike Cicchetto for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nick Cardinal is the new pitcher into the game out of Bonnyville, Alberta for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Mike Cicchetto, a line drive into center field. And Zach, isn't that exactly what we were saying? That's exactly what the Maple Leafs want to see right now. Keep Mike Cicchetto hot.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great swing, too. Ball in the inner half, and he just smokes it right back up the middle.
So he's officially 1 for 1 on the day. Well, that's a sight we haven't seen this season. That is Julian Tomochko in the catcher's gear. He is right now doing the bullpen catching for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I don't think Julian Tomochko has done much catching in his day, but he did play first base. He's a converted position player from when he played baseball in the OUA. So maybe he has a little bit of catching experience. He might be the most qualified guy down there.
Well, we were thinking about it pregame. We're saying, well, you know, Lachlan Mott, he isn't here. He went back to school.
Oh, he looks good too. He's right down in the stands. That's great.
Dionysius Chieltis, he went back to school as well. So really, there's only one catcher here, and it's Justin Marra.
And Julian Tomochko.
Oh yeah,
qualified.
now you have to back him, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if we receive a baseball here. Yeah, all right.
It's not terrible.
It's got me fooled. Unless he's actually a catcher. Someone's hooked down the line into the bullpen. Alex Lanigan is pitching to him right now in the bullpen. Connor Lewis at the dish. Mentioned how clutch he's been for the Maple Leafs lately. He's got Mike Cicchetto on first base. Here's the 1-2 from Cardinal. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nick Cardinal records the first out of the inning.
I will say, Tomochko down in the bullpen, he has that the good receive too. One knee down.
Have you taken your eyes off him this whole time?
I've been going back and forth. It's been impressive.
Well, Nick Cardinal's one of those guys they want him going for the playoffs. This will probably be a 1-inning outing for Cardinal. He's pitched in relief in all 6 of the games he's played in this year for Chatham-Kent. As this one's hit on the ground, this could be a double play. Throw to first and plenty of time to get Jose Vinicio out, and that'll do it. Nick Cardinal, a quick inning. I was just going to mention, pitched to an ERA of 3.48 in the 6 games he's played this season for Chatham-Kent, and he's living up to that right now. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs who lead 1-0 over Chatham-Kent. Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs have made a pitching change. Sam Green out, Alex Lanigan in. He was their trade deadline acquisition. Just to close the book on Sam Green. 4 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts for Green. Great outing. I talked to Sam, he said he didn't have much of a pitch count today, but he said, 50, 60 pitches. I said, that'll get you through 5 innings.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually got through 4.
I'll get you through a good, decent part of the game.
So Alex Lanigan into the game. He's only pitched 4 2/3 innings for the Maple Leafs this season. Spencer Morin at the dish, the 1-2. A strike. Disputed by many on the side of Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, they were not agreeing with it, to say the very least.
That pitch is in the dirt, and the count's now 2-2. Alex Lanigan played with the Hamilton Cardinals this season. Maple Leafs happy to acquire another reliable bullpen arm, as that was something that they felt they were a little bit deficient in before the trade deadline. Dustin Richardson warming up in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. Here's Lanigan's 2-2. And he missed with a breaking ball. It was just a bit low and outside.
From what we've seen with Alex Lanigan, he has a pretty good arsenal. He mixes his pitches up nicely.
The 3-2 fouled off. Spencer Morin putting up a battle here against Lanigan. Alex Lanigan played in the Canadian College World Series back in 2023. He was playing for the University of Calgary. And I'm not sure if he's still playing there. I believe he is in 2024. The 3-2 inside, ball 4, close pitch. And it's a leadoff walk for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers.
I keep looking up periodically over towards the right, like behind right field. That cloud is not nice.
Yeah, the weather is going to come in here at 4 o'clock, the radar is saying. And Gus Cousins, our graphics guy, just brought up a good point beside me. 3 more outs and it's an official game.
Yeah.
So that might be something to keep in mind if the rain does end up coming through. Torin Vaselnik at the plate for Chatham-Kent. Here's the 1-0, or the 0-1 from Lanigan. That's popped up. Jose Vinicio says he's got it, and he does. That's out number 1.
Catcher number 10, Greg Campbell.
Greg Kemble, the catcher. He's the number 9 hitter for the Barnstormers. And then Spencer Marcus is on deck. First pitch just outside from Alex Lanigan, who paused for a moment. Now asked the home plate umpire where that pitch was. The 1-0 on the ground. This could be 2. Dan Marra scoops it up, throws to second. Jose Vinicio to first. In time, double play. Alex Lanigan gets himself out of the inning on a double play ball to Greg Kemble, and the Toronto Maple Leafs continue to lead 1-0 over Chatham-Kent. Well, back here at Dominico Field, new pitcher into the game for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. That's Eric Pettipies. Toronto Maple Leafs matched up very well against Pettipies. He was the starting pitcher in that 22-11 game that the Maple Leafs played out in Chatham-Kent. Pettipies against the Maple Leafs went 1 1/3 innings, gave up 9 earned runs over that stretch. Justin Marra got him a couple times for a home run. Jordan Castaldo at the dish, the 0-2 in the air, flared towards left. It's the shortstop going out and making the catch. That's Sadler Goodwin, and that's out number 1. But since that outing, Eric Pettipies has pitched much better for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. In fact, after that 22-11 game in Chatham-Kent, Pettipies came out 2 days later and pitched 2 scoreless innings against the Guelph Royals where he didn't give up anything. 2 1-2-3 innings.
That'll play.
Justin Marra at the plate takes ball 1. Gave up a couple runs against Guelph and then had another scoreless inning against the Barrie Baycats. So he's been coming in relief a little bit for Chatham-Kent. And he's a good pitcher and he's a lefty. And he could be a guy who's a real tool if he's not a starter in the playoffs for Chatham-Kent. The 1-1 just outside. We're hearing some rumbling thunder off in the distance, so we may be battening down the hatches in the next 20 minutes or so. If we do, you'll probably lose the camera feed, but we'll keep the stream going. And I'm just guessing because things have got really hectic when thunder starts rolling through. We're holding our tent down, and I'm sprinting to center field to take down equipment. So things could get messy, but please bear with us. Outside ball 4. Eric Pettipies walks Justin Marra, and that brings John Solazo to the plate.
We're giving it maximum effort up here.
Yeah. The only other game happening in the Inter-County Baseball League right now, Guelph and Brantford. That's 2-0 Royals. Guelph needs to win games right now if they want to overtake the London Majors. Their reward would be playing the Hamilton Cardinals in the first round of the playoffs rather than the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. But they have to win out to catch London. And they're going to need some help from the majors as well. Tomorrow will be a game that will determine a lot for the Maple Leafs. The Barrie Baycats play the Brantford Red Sox. If Barrie wins that game, it's pretty much, it's not over, but it makes things very tough on London to get that second place spot. So the Maple Leafs can expect to play Barrie if
London would need to win out so they can at least tie the record.
The 1-1 line drive into the outfield for a base hit. Justin Marra is going to make the turn and head for third, and he's going to get in there. Runners on the corners. John Solazo with a sharp single into center.
Yeah, and a good piece of hitting there by John Solazo. He stayed back and waited on it. He was able to elevate it over the second baseman's head.
Ryan Dos Santos, the batting average leader on the Maple Leafs, comes to the plate, and John Solazo is now 1 for 2.
I think on the diamond right behind right field, a team just won a championship.
Congratulations.
They were very animated and very excited.
Dos Santos swings and misses at the first pitch from Eric Pettipies. There's the 0-1. Just outside. Justin Marra at third base, John Solazo at first. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off. Big cut there by Ryan Dos Santos, and he fouled it straight back. Ryan Dos Santos was 0 for 4 last game against the Jackfish. I talked to him before the game, and he said, you know, he wanted to play. Just, I guess he's got that Ironman streak going right now for the Maple Leafs, but he said he also wanted to have his last at-bat be a hit of the regular season. And he takes a strike right at the knees, and he goes down looking. Well, Ryan Dos Santos will have to wait one more at-bat to get that hit.
Yeah, that was a tough pitch. It looked like it broke down in early, so it was under the zone, but umpire says it caught knees.
Marcus Connect comes to the plate for the Maple Leafs. And Marcus Connect's another guy that's kind of just a sleeping giant for this Maple Leafs team, a second-round draft pick in Major League Baseball, played in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. He actually got drafted twice into the majors. First in 2008, didn't sign, came back 2 years later and went in the third round. Injuries are the reason that Marcus Connect didn't go as far as, you know, the major leagues in baseball, but he has transitioned to kind of offloading some of that knowledge that he's acquired to other people, and he's done a lot of coaching. The 0-1, a strike at the top of the zone, and it's 0-2. Marcus Connect was 2 for 5 in his last game, but that was against Kitchener. And hit a big 3-run home run against the Barrie Baycats back on August 7th in a 10-9 win for the Maple Leafs. Here's the 0-2. And Connect drills this one towards center field. Spencer Marcus has just enough room to make the catch. Great speed from that center fielder, Spencer Marcus of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Tracks it down, and the Maple Leafs do not score in the 5th. To the 6th we go. It's 1-0 Toronto. Now by Angel Castro from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Castaldo. They are tied for 8th. Castaldo drills this one in the air to center field, and there's no doubt about this one. Off the clubhouse in center field, Jordan Castaldo hit that one way out of here.
These Maple Leaf bats, they're going to learn and understand that's coming.
And he got him. High and deep and gone. You could feel that coming for Justin Marra. He hits it well over the monster there in right field, and the Maple Leafs lead 5-1.
How about this to try to break out of this little rough patch?
That might just do it. High and deep to left field. See you later. Marcus Connect, in the most clutch of all times, hits a 3-run home run, and the Maple Leafs lead 8-5. Playoffs. Connor Lewis hits this one in the air, deep to left field, and it's gone! Connor Lewis! And we're tied at 9. Well, it's the power like that from the Toronto Maple Leafs lineup, which is why Dustin Richardson doesn't really care who the Maple Leafs play in the first round. I talked to him on the broadcast against Brantford. He says, I don't care who we play. I just tell the guys, wake up and be ready to play. The rest will take care of itself. Dustin Richardson was warming up earlier in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. He was coming off an injury and hoping to be ready for the playoffs, but I'm not sure if he's in the mix to pitch this game. Max Lanoux is going to take over on the mound for the Maple Leafs, and he's got the top of the order. Spencer Marcus leading things off.
And I don't know if you noticed it, but right before Lanoux came in, he was actually standing on the side talking with Richardson, and Richardson was kind of going over the mechanics that Lanoux has and saying, you know, maybe sometimes you're tilting too much on that back leg and your body's going up a little bit, but, you know, just to have a coach like that in Dustin Richardson, it's a big help.
So that pitch right there, when Max Lanoux is on, it is rolling. That's the curveball, and that was a nasty one that he just got Spencer Marcus to swing over the top of. Max Lanoux is a guy he never pitches from the full windup, always goes from the stretch. Here's the 0-2 to Marcus. On the ground, Solazo, he gives way to Vinicio. He whips to first, and it's just late. Spencer Marcus beats it out.
Yeah, it was a great play by Vinicio. He tried to get everything he could onto it, but unfortunately there for him, Marcus, just great speed going up the first baseline and second hit of the ballgame.
Spencer Marcus, one of those guys who plays Division I baseball that translates so well to the Intercounty Baseball League. What a signing he was. The first one for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers in their team's history, and he's 2 for 3 today.
That sounds deadly.
Thunder is booming down here at Christie Pitts, and the umpires are going to talk about this, but I think they're going to come together and say, yeah, I heard thunder. That may end this ball game. So if this game goes into a rain delay, I don't know if it's going to continue. Looks like they're going to keep playing for a little longer. Because, again, this game doesn't have an impact in terms of the standings. And the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers have a long trip home. I guess the flip side of that is it took them a long time to get here, too. So you might as well play the baseball game. But Anthony Polowick, the second baseman. What a defensive play Anthony Polowick made a couple innings ago. The Toronto Maple Leafs had the bases loaded and 2 outs and looked like they were going to blow things open. Anthony Polowick made a diving catch at second base and helped Chatham-Kent Barnstormers keep this thing close. Here's the 1-0. A strike. Max Lanoux looks like he has his A game today.
And I talked about at the start of the year when Lanoux was on that hot run he had to start the season. When he's mixing his fastball and his changeup as he does, or his off-speed I should say, as he does, it's a phenomenal combo.
Here's a line drive. Is this one going to stay fair? Yes, just inside the line in right field. That's going to allow runners on second and third for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers as Anthony Polowick rips one into right.
Yeah, you talked about Polowick making a great play defensively. Well, he makes another good play here offensively. Just a beautiful swing to hook that ball and loop it down that right field line.
Anthony Polowick was a bit out in front of that pitch, but he does such a good job to keep his hands on it. Now, the guy who's third in the Intercounty Baseball League and runs batted in, Seth Strong, comes up, and all of a sudden, there's runners on second and third and nobody out. And Chatham-Kent, with thunder on the horizon, has a chance to take the lead. First pitch just outside for Max Lanoux. One 1-0 on Seth Strong. Pitch outside, throw to third, and it goes into the outfield. And the runner from third, Spencer Marcus, comes home, and we have a tie ball game at Dominico Field. Oh, that's just a disaster on the infield for the Maple Leafs. Obviously, it was going to be tough to get out of the inning with runners on second and third and nobody out, but the back pick attempt on Spencer Marcus, who wasn't particularly far off the bag at third, goes awry, and the Maple Leafs have given up a run. And now, in terms of the outcome of this ball game, that is majorly impactful because we think that this game is going to be shortened due to rain.
Yeah, it's a tough play right there. You know, Marra had the right idea to try to get a play going, and it just got under the ball a little bit when he threw it, and it just kind of soared.
Good curveball there from Max Lanoux, and that counts 2-1. Seth Strong with a runner on third base. Chatham-Kent trying to take the lead. The 2-1 pitch. Strong hits a high chopper. Dan Marra fields it. He can't come home. He throws to first to get the out, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers lead 2-1. Seth Strong drives in RBI number 36 on the season.
Left fielder number 23, Braxton Haggett.
Braxton Haggith comes up to the plate, hitting cleanup today for Chatham-Kent. Max Lanoux has now one on and nobody out, but didn't get a lot of help defensively with the runner from third base coming in on a wild throw. 2-1 Barnstormers. Maple Leafs hoping that they get a top of the sixth inning to bring it back. Haggith lines one into the outfield, down for a base hit, fielded on a hop by Marcus Connect. And another base runner for Chatham-Kent. So Zach, not only is this important for the Barnstormers to take the lead, but if they can extend this inning, it gives the Maple Leafs less runway to work with. The bottom half of the sixth inning has to be played for this to count.
Yeah.
So that's one thing to think about, right? You don't want to make this go too long, but I mean, we're looking at the clouds right now in the outfield.
Clouds, the radar, I mean.
It looks nasty. So.
Yeah, there's a major rainstorm going on over southern Ontario right now. It's just been basically just a matter of time before it's hit Toronto.
We have some interesting factors at play here. If Chatham-Kent spends too long on this inning and the rain starts coming down before the Maple Leafs are able to get through the bottom of the sixth, the top of the sixth doesn't matter. But if they spend a long time, the Maple Leafs get through the top of the fifth, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers had the lead. And they might add on. This one's drilled. Williams watching it, and it is gone. Josh Williams to dead center and over the monster for good measure, and Chatham-Kent leads 4-1.
And Williams got every stitch of that baseball. Great swing.
Williams takes a long trip around the bases for the Barnstormers. And Sam Green's going to come out to chat with Max Lanoux, who started this inning looking sharp, and then all of a sudden, a couple good swings, and it's a 4-1 ball game.
He was making good pitches to start off the inning, and like I said, he had a good mix going with the fastball and that off speed, but just the Barnstormers, they were able to catch flight.
Congratulations to Josh Williams. That's his first home run with the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Mound visit over. Sam Green was not being hasty on his way out there to the mound and coming back. With the bottom of this sixth inning needing to be played for this top half to count for Chatham-Kent. Well, a news pitch, and he falls off the mound, delivering it to home plate, and it's outside. The 0-1. This one's popped up on the infield. Jose Vinicio calls off Marra and makes the catch, 2 away. So we just got the Toronto Maple Leafs today. First, I think it was 100 and something fans got a team picture today. So this is what the Toronto Maple Leafs we're giving away. We're getting the Vonacam fired up to give you a shot of it.
Getting her ready.
Here we go. There's the squad right there. See, we just got a couple of them up in the booth, but I didn't get one. I wanted one too. I'll try and get one. 0-1, way up and in, and the count's 1-1. Spencer Morin is at the dish. He's 0 for 1 today, but he's walked. Torin Vaselnik and Greg Kemble are on deck. Spencer Marcus, Anthony Polowick, Braxton Hageth all have a couple of hits today for Chatham-Kent. This pitch outside to Morin.
It is proceedingly starting to get windier. You can feel it.
Yeah, we had a calm before the storm, at least we think. And now it's starting to pick up again. A pitch up and in to Spencer Morin. Getting gloomy here at Dominico Field. Here's the 3-1 to Morin. And it's just outside, ball 4. So that'll bring Torin Vaselnik to the plate. Rob Butler is on his way out to the mound. There's no one warming up down in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs.
Greg Carrington was throwing.
So maybe he's ready to go. And that's it for Max Lanoux. He gets a couple of outs in the inning and exits in favor of Greg Carrington, who's coming in.
And Greg Carrington's going to be coming in to do the pitching duties here for the Maple Leafs to close off the top part of the 6th. First pitch swinging here It's into shallow left field. Jose Vinicio will go out and make the catch. And how about that? 1 pitch, 1 out for Greg Carrington as we close off the top half of the 6th. You're watching Maple Leafs Baseball, brought to you by MMP. Welcome back to Maple Leafs Baseball. Maple Leafs Baseball brought to you by MNP, nationally in scoped and local in focus. MNP is one of Canada's leading professional services firms, proudly serving individuals, businesses, and organizations since 1958.
And we have another new pitcher on the mound for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers as the skies darken and we inch closer to what may be a shortened game. Brock Whitson takes the mound. Pitched a lot out of relief over the last month and a half or so. Began the season as one of their starters alongside Aiden Ryan. Both recently have transitioned to the bullpen.
First pitch here to Dan Marra. He squares around a bunt, pulls it back, and it's ball 1. So again, there is rain incoming. We don't know when it's going to hit. So first and foremost, apologies. The center field camera we've preemptively taken that down so we don't lose equipment. So we won't have that angle for you here in this sitting. But again, this game doesn't mean all that much between these two teams. You know, it doesn't affect the standings whatsoever. I guess it's more so just, you know, at this point it's a pride thing. Just to win that final game of the regular season.
Yeah, the most important part for both teams is that they walk away from this game with nobody injured. Dan Marra really did not agree with that call on the inside corner. A curveball from Brock Whitson. And it's 2-2. Yeah, no injuries, limiting pitch counts, getting guys some action before the playoffs start. They'll begin this Thursday.
And it's big, you know, a couple of the guys here in the Maple Leafs lineup that have gotten hits today, that's great momentum for them going forward as Marra hits this in a right field coming in and can't make the grab.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it, right? Mike Chiquetto showed up to the team late this season, a relatively still new player in terms of adding him to the squad right around the signing deadline, and he's been nothing short of fantastic for the Leafs ever since coming over. And again, today, knocking another base hit. Had 2 yesterday in Welland.
And that's really what he's been doing ever since coming over. Chiquetto, he's just done a phenomenal job. Just kind of starting as a guy coming off the bench and giving production to he's slowly making his way into the starting lineup every here and there.
Yeah, it gives Jordan Castaldo some time off his feet to get away from first base. Chiquetto can play over there, so can Cole Murchison.
This is hit into center field, coming on making the grab. The center fielder and Dan Marra will be retired. That'll bring up the man himself, Mike Chatham.
First baseman number 3, Mike Chatham.
And again, all he's done since coming to the Maple Leafs is hit. Coming into this game here, he leads the team in batting average, hitting .400, and all he's done today is walk and hit. So that average will go up even more.
Yeah, and it's been an abrupt turnaround for him. He hasn't had a whole ton of success with his time in Guelph and or Barrie in the previous 2 years or so, but ever since he's come back to Christie Pitts, he's been a hitting machine.
And his approach at the plate, it's pretty well known. He's going to try to pull everything, and I think a lot of teams were starting to understand that and pitch him outside or just away from him, and he got away from his approach of just staying true to the ball in the inner half and just ripping it, and that's what he's been doing since he came back from Toronto. It kind of seems like the approach, it's changed a little bit. He's not chasing as much. He's still going to be a swing-happy player, but he's a guy that understands his zone and his strengths, as he has a big cut right there and an off-speed.
Yeah, he's a little bit like the man who's on deck in Connor Lewis in that sense, a guy who will certainly have a great deal of swing and miss in his game, but when he's on, he's hitting balls hard to the pull side, both righties, both with a ton of power, as we've seen.
And that's another beautiful off-speed pitch that'll get Chatham swinging, who's another one in the other half.
Yeah, 2 batters in a row, we've seen Whitson utilize that curveball, first on Dan Marra, and then to Mike Chatham twice there in that at-bat.
So that'll bring up the hero of the last couple of weeks, Connor Lewis. So far today, 0 for 2, but you know, we talked about him in the pregame, talked about him a little bit throughout the game. He's had some massive hero moments for the side of the Maple Leafs, and don't know if he's gonna, continue those type of heroics, as that off-speed is called strike one in the other half. But any production you get out of Connor Lewis, it's gonna be massive, and he's been a guy that he's kept his head down, he's done his work, comes in every day. Watches that one hide away, ball one.
And with Carrington transitioning to the bullpen primarily, he's become a very important piece in the outfield for the Leafs alongside the likes of Connect and Dos Santos. And Johnson has played there a little bit too, though to a much lesser extent. But Lewis, unlike what we've seen in parts of last year, has worked himself legitimately into an everyday player in this lineup for the Maple Leafs. And when he's supplying the power that we've seen over the last week and a half or so, he has it in there. It's just, can he produce on a consistent basis? And recently he has.
And strike 3 called, the breaking ball in the outer half. And the side is retired. 1, 2, 3 here in the bottom half of the 6th. To the top of the 7th we go here. You're watching Maple Leafs baseball at Dominico Field.
back here at Dominico Field, while we're getting you set here, this is a video that I've been wanting to show for a couple of days. We took batting practice. Some of the crew was taking BP, and Sam Green decided to join in and take some batting practice. And this is what happened.
Oh, get out!
So that ball was absolutely drilled. Green, he just kind of walked, like it didn't seem like he was really swinging that hard, and then he decided to just get into one, drilled it over the fence, and it was just fantastic. And I'm glad that I just happened to be filming at the time that he hit that home run. But no, I asked Sam, did you hit, in college and stuff? He said hit in high school, and that's funny. Some of these pitchers are, have a little bit more pop than you think. I mean, hitting a home run isn't exactly.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, not everyone just does that. So, anyway, I really wanted to share that on the broadcast, but thought that was just really cool to see. Well, Greg Carrington's pitch count is at 1 so far. That's all he needed to get out of the 6th. And now here he is in the 7th, facing 9-1-2 with Greg Kemble, the catcher, leading things off. It's not raining.
It hasn't, yeah. I'm kind of surprised.
Which is interesting. We really thought it was going to rain. It was looking really bad, and now it's just kind of stayed at the same level of looks like it's going to rain-ness. Is that a thing?
Not sure.
Yeah, 0 career games played, too. I'm Thomas West, by the way. Zach Benoit is my broadcast partner.
The radar's doing funky things, Mr. West, because that's that. It just appears.
Yeah, we'll see. We've battened down the hatches. We're ready to run for the hills if it starts coming down, but we might get in a little bit more of this game than we thought. By the way, a lot of our broadcast team up here has played pretty serious baseball. I have not. I have played the lowest level of baseball than our broadcast team.
But you're still going.
Mike Giacchetto trying to run this one down the line. Looks like Chris Nagorski is making a couple new Toronto Maple Leaf fans down the line. Isn't that great? Signing a couple autographs. That's a 5-time IBL champion down there, kids.
Keep that one in the laminated card holders.
Yeah. The swing and a miss, strike 3. Greg Carrington gets Kemble. Now this task gets a little bit harder for Carrington with the top of the order, Spencer Marcus.
So also, I'm not sure if you did hear, but our in-arena host, Michael, he did put out that it's confirmed the Maple Leafs will play Saturday at 7:30. That is the confirmed time for the Leafs home game in the series that we speculate it's going to be against the Barrie Bay Cats.
Yeah, so not the traditional Sunday game, so keep that in mind if you're a Toronto Maple Leaf fan looking to come down to the game. Saturday night, not Sunday night this weekend. First, that'll be game 2 against whoever they play. It looks like it's going to be Thursday if it's the Barrie Bay Cats, and then it might be Friday if it's London for game 1 for the Maple Leafs. But we're just, nothing, that's not confirmed yet. That's what we think it's going to be.
I think they've confirmed it Saturday if it's again Barrie. I would speculate.
Right. Spencer Marcus is 2 for 3 today. Raised that batting average to .363 on the season. And then Anthony Pollowick, who's had a heck of a game. He had a double in his last at-bat. He's on deck. The 1-2, drilled to center field, and did he get it? Lewis back and watches this one sail out of here. Solo home run, Spencer Marcus. 3 hits on the day, and now he's driven himself in with a home run. That's number 5 on the year for Spencer Marcus.
Spencer Marcus, I mean, what hasn't he been able to do? He came into Chatham-Kent, and he's just been hitting the cover off the baseball all year long. A fantastic signing at the start of the year for Chatham-Kent, and it's a really nice sight to see for him in his IBL career.
5-1 Barnstormers here over the Maple Leafs. And although this game doesn't have impact in the standings, Toronto, I know the players on the side of Toronto did not want to finish like this. They will be trying to win this baseball game. Momentum is something that there's a lot of people in the Maple Leafs dugout that are believers in that, and the last thing they want to do is take the pedal off the metal. Pinch hitter for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers is Robert Mackey. He's going to hit into the place of Anthony Pollowick. Mackey has been a two-way player for Chatham-Kent this season. He's done some pitching. In fact, I'm pretty sure he closed out the first game of Chatham-Kent Barnstormers baseball history. The 1-2, and he got him. 2 away. And now Seth Strong comes to the plate.
First baseman number 30, Seth Strong.
He grounded out to second, but got the RBI his last time up. And not sure if you noticed it, but he went back to the dugout. He was frustrated. He thought he missed that pitch. And, you know, when you're playing as well as Seth Strong has all year long, I guess you can have that kind of frustration kind of seep through.
Yeah, he also thought he hit a home run in the first inning. It was a ball that was as close to being a fair ball as you possibly can, but it was foul down the right field line. And Spencer Marcus was having a conversation with the umpire at first base who called it. He thought he got that one. This one's drilled. Left field, deep, and gone. 16 home runs on the season for Spencer Marcus. And that might just be what he caps off the regular season with. Seth Strong, I should say, rounding third base. And he has put up a phenomenal IBL season.
Yeah, that first IBL season here for Seth Strong has been nothing short of spectacular. Phenomenal player, and I mean, wow, what a way, if that is his last at bat of the regular season, what a way to cap it off. An opposite field home run.
Well, Spencer Marcus hit a home run in the inning as well, and now Seth Strong has tallied on this inning. 2 solo shots, 6-1 Chatham-Kent. To left field and deep, and that one's going to go to the wall. Braxton Haggith making the turn at first base, and he's in with a double. So the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers with some hard, loud contact here in the top of the 7th. So this is Josh Williams at the plate, and there's no one happier that the rain hasn't come in here at Dominico Field than Josh Williams, because he hit a majestic home run last inning to dead center field, but it wouldn't have counted, and it would have been his first as a Chatham-Kent Barnstormer if the bottom half of the inning wasn't played. So he's back at the dish and looking for more. First pitch, a strike on the outside corner from Greg Carrington.
He's a big guy when you look down there. Big presence at the plate.
Ground ball. Up the middle. Venicio's playing right there. He flips to first, picked by Mike Cicchetto at first base. And that'll do it for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers in the top of the 7th. But they get a couple more. 2 solo shots. Spencer Marcus, Seth Strong, 16 on the year. And it's 6-1 Chatham-Kent. Another pitching change, this time on the side of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Cam O'Reilly comes into the game, and he'll face 1, 2, 3 in the Maple Leafs order. First, it's Jose Vinicio, then Jordan Castaldo, and Justin Marra. First pitch from O'Reilly is in there for a strike. Cam O'Reilly has an ERA of 9.57 this season. Played for the London Majors last year and was very good over 12 innings. And then has had a huge workload here for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. He's pitched 36 innings for them. Last pitched on August 15th against the Barrie Bay Cats. Vinicio fouls this one off to the left. Cam O'Reilly hasn't had a ton of big blow-up outings, which has inflated the ERA, but hasn't had an outing where he hasn't given up an earned run since June 24th against Guelph. So the Maple Leafs trying to take advantage of that and get themselves back into the ballgame, trailing 6-1. Vinicio lines it into the outfield, and it's foul down the right field line.
Good swing by Vinicio, just a little bit too far outside. Went the right way with the off-speed.
So, I mean, we've been watching the radar for this weather coming in, and, like...
it's disappeared.
Yeah, we kind of look like idiots now. It kind of looks like it's not going to rain.
Yeah, it's... Now it's saying it's supposed to rain around 5 o'clock.
Strike 3 called, and Jose Vinicio is fuming after that one. Cam O'Reilly gets the first batter he faces. There's one away.
Designated player number 5, Jordan Castaldo.
Jordan Castaldo takes ball 1. Cam O'Reilly has pitched in relief a lot lately, but he made a string of starts with Guelph, Hamilton, Welland back in July. So, I mean, I'm assuming that he can give Chatham-Kent some length, and he might be tasked with going as long as things are going well on the mound for the Barnstormers here. Here's the 1-1 to Castaldo. And he takes low. Here's the 2-1. That one finds the zone, and Jordan Castaldo didn't like it.
Yeah, it looked like the second pitch in the at-bat where Castaldo didn't agree. It was the first strike call. He didn't like it either.
Cam O'Reilly, a former Moose Jaw Express in the WCBL. Here's the 2-2. Up and in. The count's full. The full count pitch to Castaldo, and it's fouled straight back. He had a big cut at that one. Jordan Castaldo is hitting .299 on the season for the Maple Leafs. Trying to get that one base hit that would boost him up over 300, something which he's done so often in the regular season in the IBL. He flares this one to left. Is it going to get down? Yes, it is. Jordan Castaldo has himself a base hit despite a sliding effort by Braxton Haggith, and he may just hit 300 again.
Yeah, and you know that's just Jordan Castaldo. You know, he'll get on base at a crazy rate. I was looking at it before. His on base percentage when I was looking at it, I believe it said 497. And again, he also had that lengthy streak we talked about. Yeah, so coming into today, his on-base percentage was 497. He almost hit that 500 plateau. Oh, sorry, that was his slugging. I'm mixing my numbers up.
Jordan Castaldo has hit above 300 in every season in the IBL dating back to 2012.
Wow. That little
12 years
bloop
in a
right
row.
there. That little bloop right there just saved a 12-year streak.
Yeah, if he doesn't get another at-bat, that'll be 12 seasons in a row. One of the best players to ever play in the Intercounty Baseball League. The 0-2 to Justin Marra just misses low. Yeah, I mean, it was a 72 game on base streak for Justin Marra that got ended in the Maple Leafs last game. Now it's in the dirt. Jordan Castaldo's heading for second base. He had a great read on that. Kemble did not as it bounced behind him, the catcher. And an extra 90 feet for the Maple Leafs.
And that's big for the Leafs, especially when they're trying to, make a little bit of a comeback here in this game. Got to get something now before later.
Justin Marra is a guy who's had great success against the Barnstormers this season. Maple Leafs still have 8 outs to work with. Marra lines one into the outfield. That's down, and that's going to cash in a run. Justin Marra will hold up at first base. He's got an RBI single, and it's 6-2.
That's a great piece of hit, and he stayed back on the ball and just laces it beautifully over the shortstop's head into left field. Good piece of hitting out of the backstop for the Maple Leafs here.
Third baseman number 17, Solazo.
So Maple Leafs trail by 4 runs. John Solazo comes to the plate. He's got Justin Marra taking a modest lead over there at first, and the Maple Leafs looking for some power here against O'Reilly. First pitch to Solazo, low and away. Good discipline from John Solazo. He legs the ball on the inner half and up if he gets it. And if you put it in that spot, John Solazo can hit it a long way. O'Reilly, the lefty, might try and stay away from the big power hitter. But John Solazo has that one right in his wheelhouse, and it's lined to left or right field, and it's caught. That ball was just missed by John Solazo as Spencer Morin came over and made the catch.
Yeah, he stayed back on that beautifully, and even though that was just a lineup for Solazo, that's still a good at-bat to have, and you shouldn't hang your head about it. Because, like you said, he stayed back, had a great swing on the ball. He just missed it, though. He gets a little bit more of the barrel on that, and that's sailing either off the metal monster or just sailing right over it.
Dos Santos, a high chopper towards first, and that's going to be a base hit. Justin Marra looking to go first to third. Dos Santos going for second. The throw gets into the outfield, and Justin Marra's coming home. Here's the throw, and it's offline. The Maple Leafs score, and it's 6-3. Ryan Dos Santos ends up at third base on what will be a double and an error.
Yeah, that throw to second, that's a tough one. That's something similar that we saw earlier in the game when Justin Marra tried to back pick at third base. He got under the throw, and it sailed up and over the head of Solazo, and the same thing kind of happens here with the throw from right field. And Marra goes first to home, and Dos Santos talked about how he wanted to get a hit in his last at-bat. If that is his last at-bat, he got his wish.
It was not an unwise throw from Spencer Morin out there in right field, because he would have definitely had a play at second base if the throw was on line, but unfortunately for Morin, it got away, and Ryan Dos Santos ends up at third, and the Maple Leafs are threatening again, and we have a pitching change here at Dominico Field. We'll have that for you when we come back. Aiden Ryan is on the mound now for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. He has had an excellent season for them, an ERA of 4.50. Was especially good when he was starting games back in May, was the IBL Pitcher of the Week, the first one of the Intercounty Baseball League season, as Marcus Connect swings through the first pitch. But his role has kind of changed since that first game that he pitched, or that first month of the season where he was starting baseball games. He's had a lot of short outings, but he's been effective in those outings. Coming out of the bullpen against Barrywell in London and Brantford, and didn't give up an earned run against any of those teams in his recent outings. So he'll try and shut the door here on the Maple Leafs. Has the ability to go more than one inning. So Chatham-Kent ideally would like to see him get Marcus Connect, hold the Maple Leafs to a 3-run deficit, and pitch the next inning. And then maybe go to someone else in the 9th. 0-2. Connect takes outside. 1-2. Ryan was trying to pick the outside corner, but just missed. The one thing the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers will really like about this outing is that they've got pretty good outings from all of their pitchers. It's been a rotating cast, a bullpen day, if you will, just trying to get everyone some work, and everyone's looked good.
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
This one's dished into the outfield by Marcus Connect. And it's a base hit, so that'll close the book on Cam O'Reilly, and it's 6-4.
Yeah, again, Marcus Connect. He's been swinging a really good bat over the last half of the season, and again, right there in that at bat, a good approach, and slaps it into left field.
So that run is not on Aiden Ryan's record. He's trying to extend a streak of 5 outings in a row, all scoreless. Dan Marra comes to the plate with Mike Chatham on deck. And Ryan, also a young pitcher on this Barnstormers team, just 23 years old. Marra takes the strike, and the count's 1-1. Maple Leafs clawing their way back into it. They've scored 3 in the inning. At one point, we're down 6-1. Line drive, jumping catch at second base. Well, we've seen a couple of nice plays at second base. This time it was Robert Mackey, and the Barnstormers are out of the inning, but not before the Maple Leafs score 3 runs and have brought this game to within 2. Maple Leafs turning to Julian Valdez to try and go the final 2 innings here for the Maple Leafs. Julian Valdez got back on track against the Brantford Red Sox, pitching a scoreless inning, but before that gave up a couple of earned runs. So the Maple Leafs see Valdez as one of their better pitchers in the bullpen. When Dustin Richards is healthy, he'll be the bullpen, but other than that, it's Valdez who's trying to set things up, ideally in the playoffs for the Maple Leafs. So they want to get him on track in this outing, and they know he has the stuff to be dominant in the playoffs.
Yeah, and Valdez, like you said, he has the stuff, and it's kind of just been a waiting game with him to see when that stuff will show up and the control would come back, and it looks like it finally has. And he's playing a really, really good season so far. I mean, the role he's been able to have in this bullpen has been solid.
Big velocity, throws well over 90 miles an hour, and pairs that with a good breaking ball, and there it is right there, and it's 1-2. That's the breaking ball from Valdez. That one's fouled off. Sadler Goodwin at the plate for Chatham-Kent. Julian Valdez played a little bit for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats in Double-A in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. And then before last season, he was playing in Single-A for Dunedin in the Florida State League. And he's still young. He's 25 years old, Valdez. Here's a ground ball. Vinicio at shortstop, has it. Throws to first, offline, and he's safe. It pulls Mike Cicchetto off the bag, and the Barnstormers have a runner on. So Valdez is going to have to work through a little bit of adversity in this inning with Sadler Goodwin reaching first place.
Yeah, tough throw there by Vinny. He's been pretty solid over the last little stretch at defense. The throw, like you said, just pulling Cicchetto off the bag.
Well, Spencer Morin made an error last inning that allowed Ryan Dos Santos to get to second base and Justin Marra to score, so he has a great chance of some redemption here. Actually, no, he doesn't. Lee Kucera is going to pinch hit for him. Untimely. I don't think that has anything to do with the error, probably just rotating through the lineup are the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. So Lee Kucera, who's hitting .254 on the season, comes in to face Valdez. The 0-1, swing and a miss, and you can see righty v righty especially, Julian Valdez is not a comfortable matchup at the plate.
Yeah, it's the mid-90s fastball mixed in with a really good slider. If he has that combo working, it is tough to kind of pair up and sit in the box there.
Yeah, nasty breaking ball, hard fastball. They both tunnel each other and mix in a little wild in there, and that's an uncomfortable matchup. Popped up on the infield. John Solazo calling for it, and he makes the catch, and Kucera's retired. So Dan Patel, who also came into this game last inning, he's hitting .285 on the season, the former London major. So Dan Patel gets an at-bat here. Last played against the Guelph Royals on August 11th. He was 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter. The 1-0 in the dirt. Patel telling Sadler Goodwin to hold his ground there at first base.
I think the rain is finally starting to come down.
Yeah, nothing egregious yet, but Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Julian Valdez. Oh, that's actually strike 2. Oh, it's strike 1? Yeah, we're getting hot going into the playoffs. Yeah, let's keep the momentum going here, guys. Strike 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Thomas West. A lot going on here at Dominico Field.
The 2-2 to Battelle. Fouled off to the left. And on
off
the
the
street.
house.
Yeah, we've noticed that Julian Valdez has had a
Different jersey on?
yeah. He's wearing different people's jerseys every game. Last time we saw him, he was wearing Rob Butler's number 93 jersey. Now it looks like he's wearing Wilhelmus Alvarado's 47 jersey.
So what I've heard a couple of times is, you know, when a player has to wear like the different jersey, there's a decision made pregame or hours before pregame before they come to the clubhouse on what color jersey they're going to wear. And some guys will just bring that one jersey, and then last minute it'll get switched to say the baby blues, and they'll be like, well, I don't have my baby blue here.
I think it's a laundry thing.
Might be a laundry thing.
That pitch is inside ball 4. Julian Valdez loses Dan Battelle. And that brings up Greg Kemble.
Catcher number 10, Greg Kemble.
Kemble is 1 for 3 with a strikeout today. Greg Kemble could change the course of this ball game quite drastically if he can drive in a run here. Toronto Maple Leafs have 6 outs to work with. They'll have Chiquetto, Lewis, and Vinicio coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Kemble is well laid on that fastball from Valdez, and if you're not looking for it, you're gonna be in tough just to get a piece of it. That's that hard fastball from Valdez.
And that just looked like one of the pitches where he was just completely confused. Guessed wrong, was sitting on the off speed, and the bat just did not come around in time.
0-2 now on Kemble, and that one's high. An error and a walk have allowed Chatham-Kent 2 base runners in the inning, and Kemble just getting a piece of that hard fastball again. It's almost like Greg Kemble is looking for something off speed right now from Julian Valdez.
Yeah, Valdez can paint in a good a fastball in the inner half here. It might cross up Kemble completely.
He's had him well laid on the last 2 pitches. Now the 1-2. And he just missed outside. Good eye by Kemble. Here's Valdez's 2-2. And Kemble takes high, and it's full. So Valdez worked himself into a favorable position against Dan Battelle and lost him, and now this at-bat starting to get away a little bit against Greg Kemble as well. Julian Valdez, best pitch here is probably a strike. This is the number 9 hitter, and then back to the top of the order for Chatham-Kent with Marcus, Mackey, and Strong, 2 of which have homered last inning. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. That is a big punch out for Julian Valdez.
Again, it looked like Kemble was sitting on the breaking ball. He just wasn't expecting the heat. Valdez finally able to get one over the plate and not too high. Gets Kemble chasing.
Well, Spencer Marcus is the batter now. You don't have anywhere open to put him, but you might want to make your best pitches against Robert Mackey, who's on deck. He's the guy who's been a two-way player, has hit well, but not as well as Spencer Marcus and Seth Strong. Mackey's the on-deck batter. We'll see if Julian Valdez is cautious here with Marcus. Not on the first pitch, goes right after him. I think the flip side of that is that Julian Valdez has a lot of confidence in his stuff.
Yeah, I think he's built up that confidence again this year. You know, it looked like at parts last year, he didn't feel confident in his fastball or in his breaking ball, but this year he's built it back up and he's looked like a completely different pitcher.
The 1-0, swing and a miss, and Spencer Marcus isn't seeing that ball to the hand very well from Julian Valdez as a light rain starts to get a little bit heavier here at Dominico Field.
I'm okay if the rain, just don't bring on the wind.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. How about that to spark some momentum going into the playoffs? Julian Valdez gets through a good inning, a couple big strikeouts in a big situation in the Maple Leafs, trailing by just 2.
And back here in the bottom half of the 8th, it's Mike Cicchetto leading things off here for the Maple Leafs. Again, Cicchetto, he has been nothing short of great for the Leafs since joining. All he's done is hit and get on base. That's kind of just been the story for him since joining the Maple Leafs. Eight, 9, and then 1 here in the lineup for the Leafs.
Mike Cicchetto, in the small sample size he's had in 25 at-bats, raised that batting average to 407 with the base hit he had today. Now he swings through that pitch.
He walked, singled, and last time up he struck out.
The 2-2 drilled to left, but right at Braxton Haggith.
It's the third time today we've seen a Maple Leafs player line a ball, but it's directly at the outfield.
Center fielder number 4, Connor Lewis.
Connor Lewis pops this one up. On the infield, it's the new second baseman, Robert Mackey, going back, and he can't make the catch. That one will fall. Not a lot of wind, but a lot of rain coming down. And that may have played a factor in that one. Kenny Williams, who's the new pitcher for Chatham-Kent, has an ERA of 4.44 this season for the Barnstormers. Coming off an outing against Barrie where he only needed to face one batter in a 5-3 win. And before that on August 11th against Guelph. So Chatham-Kent getting everyone who they want to get some work in this final game of the regular season. And on top of that, beating the Toronto Maple Leafs and trying to win their last game of the season.
And credit to Chatham-Kent. Like you said, they're getting everybody they want to get work done. They're letting them get work. And they've all pitched very well. And you look at who's come into the ball game so far for the side of the Barnstormers.
If Chatham-Kent wins this game, then they will go 20-22 in their inaugural season. That's not bad.
Not bad whatsoever. Interesting. So Jose Vinicio was asking for time. The umpire was not granting it to him.
Yeah, it was after a disputed strike call that Jose Vinicio thought was up and away. The 2-1, Vinicio hits this one. It's hanging up out there in right. Spencer Marcus is now playing right field with Lee Kucera going to center. The inflection there in my voice was because Connor Lewis had to get back quickly to make sure he didn't get picked off at first base. So the outfield now, Braxton Haggith, Lee Kucera, and Spencer Marcus in the outfield. Dan Bechtel, Sadler Goodwin, Robert Mackey, Seth Strong from left to right on the infield, with Kemble catching Williams.
Yeah, not sure if you noticed it, partner, but after the pop out by Vinicio, he came back and he had some words for the umpire. Dos Santos came barreling out of the dugout to make sure Vinicio didn't get tossed.
Yeah, the last thing the Maple Leafs need is suspensions going into the playoffs. That would be a disaster. The 1-0 on Castaldo. And a quick pitch there from Williams.
Castaldo, we talked about his last at-bat. He raised the batting average over 300. He's 3-0 here. Or 3-1, I should say.
Castaldo lines it foul. Yeah, so that's a good point. He's hitting 304 on the season. I think a base hit would take him back to like 301 or even 300. Or sorry, if he doesn't get a base hit. But if he gets a base hit here, then he doesn't have to worry about
Doesn't have to worry about it whatsoever.
The 12-year streak of hitting 300 being over. A walk would also do it.
He was 3-0, now 3-2.
Jordan Castaldo hasn't been hitting 300 all season. It really looked like this was going to be the first time in 12 years that Castaldo didn't have a regular season where he hit over 300. But he has been working himself back up slowly as the year goes on. He's put together some really, really good plate appearances. In fact, that one game where he went 0 for 5 against Brantford in that Maple Leafs 4-3 win is an outlier over his last couple games. He's put together multi-hit games in 3 of his last 4. And Castaldo hits this one. High and deep to right field, a dive, and it's off the glove of Spencer Marcus. Connor Lewis comes in to score. Jordan Castaldo into second. He's got himself an RBI double. Knocked that 300 doubts out of the question. He's well surpassed that mark, and he's brought the Maple Leafs within 1.
That was a massive swing by Castaldo. Just to get it out there. It looked like he missed it too. The funny part was, it looks like he missed it, but he has so much power that it carries basically all the way to the warning track, and that's a deep double for Jordan Castaldo and a sign that Maple Leaf teammates and fans, they want to see headed into the playoffs.
So Jordan Castaldo, 2 for 4 on the day. He may just finish this season hitting .308.
And I think the funny thing to look at too is, you know, you said this season didn't really fully look like he would be a 300 hitter, but it didn't even feel like he particularly had a bad season either. He had a great season, and it just kind of seemed that the hitting tool kind of changed, and it got more so just to seeing the bat really well, seeing the ball. I'm going to have a pinch runner coming on here. Charlie Towers is going to pinch run for Jordan Castaldo, so that'll end his regular season. Like you said, he ends it batting over 300.
6 home runs, 29 RBIs, which is a big number on the RBIs because he spent a lot of the season hitting leadoff. Walked 31 times. And he's going to finish the year with a .308 batting average, and Jordan Castaldo has done it again. Another great regular season.
You know, it's death, taxes, and a Jordan Castaldo good baseball season. That's kind of what you always expect and what you'll always see.
Justin Marra looking to give the Maple Leafs the lead, and he swings and misses. I guess he's probably looking to tie the game first and then take the lead. But with the power that Justin Marra has displayed lately, that seems possible. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Kenny Williams went way off speed there against Marra.
Yeah, that's just a fantastic mix by Williams. He went back-to-back fastballs, one missed high, and then he got Marra to swing the second one, and then he opens up the zone with that breaking ball in the lower outer half.
Kenny Williams is extremely fast to the plate. The 1-2. Marra pops this one up. This may end the inning, and it's caught in foul territory by Dan Battelle. And that will do it, but the Maple Leafs get one back. They've got 3 outs to work with, and first trying to shut down the Barnstormers in the top of the 9th. new pitcher for the Maple Leafs, Julian Tomochko. And for Tomochko, it's been a great season for him. Such a turnaround from last year as this one's popped up on the first pitch by Robert Mackey. Marcus Connect makes the catch. I mean, you look at what Julian Tomochko did last year with the ERA of 13.50, comes in this year, he's got an ERA of 4.76, challenged at the beginning of the season by some of the veteran players to be better this year, and boy, he was. Put in the work in the offseason. Got a feel for that breaking ball, which he said he didn't have as much last year, and Julian Tomochko has put together some really important innings for the Maple Leafs this season. And now trying to put a cherry on top here, facing some tough hitters in the lineup of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. First it was Robert Mackey who popped out, and now it's Seth Strong who has a homer today. The 1-0. That one misses inside to Strong. The 2-0, that one misses as well. And Seth Strong has worked himself into a 3-0 count. "17 innings pitched for Tomochko this season. So that one's up and away, ball 4. So a runner on with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Julian Tomochko trying to hold the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers where they are and give the Maple Leafs a chance in the bottom half. Hageth pops this one up. This is going to be a tough play for Dos Santos, but he gets there and makes the catch. Ryan Dos Santos had to run a long way to get that one, and there's 2 away in the inning.
Also got to credit the bullpen there. They were communicating with Dos Santos just where the dirt was, so he didn't get a little flustered by stepping on the dirt after the grass, but like you said, great play. Wanted to comment on Julian Tomochko, and yeah, you said it. He's having a great season. 4.77 ERA coming into today, and his last 2 appearances, they've been rock solid. No earned runs. He's struck out at least a batter in both appearances. The worst appearance he had was maybe the game against Barrie, where he only went 2/3 of an inning, allowing 2 earned runs.
The 1-0 to Josh Williams. And that one misses outside. Williams is 1 for 4, but the one hit is a home run. Drove in a couple for Chatham-Kent. That was back in the 6th. 2-0 now. That's ball 4, so 2 walks in the inning. And Julian Tomochko is going to have to try and work through this. He's retired too, and if he can get Sadler Goodwin here, he'll turn things over and give the Maple Leafs a chance in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, and if there was only one part of the season that's kind of been the tough part for Tomochko, it's just been the walks. 23 walks and 17 innings pitched. Not the number you want to have.
But Julian Tomochko has also found that clutch gene where he's able to work out of it. Tomochko has had some outings where he's got himself into trouble with walks and then got a big strikeout or got a ground ball to get himself out of the inning.
Yeah, he had back-to-back outings where he had 7 walks total, but he only gave up 2 runs total in those outings.
So Jalen Butcher is in the game now for Chatham-Kent. So not Sadler Goodwin. And the count's 1-2. So Jalen Butcher may take over at shortstop or somewhere on the infield for Sadler Goodwin, who is at short. Tomashko trying to get Butcher and get out of the inning. The 1-2 in the dirt, goes to the backstop, bounce high off the cage. And Justin Marra goes back to get it, and both runners have moved up an extra 90 feet. So now Jalen Butcher with a base hit can really seal the deal here for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, and Tomashko, he went back to the well there. He went with another, it looked like a slider. He got 2 strike calls on it already in this at-bat. He tried to go for a third time, bury it a little bit more, but he just couldn't get him to chase.
The 2-2 from Julian Tomashko, and it's just outside.
And you can hear all the moans and groans. That's because that's been a strike call for the side of Chatham-Kent all day. And the fans wanted it for the Maple Leafs, but they did not get it.
So now a full count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Julian Tomashko popped up on his way back to the dugout and trying to fuel the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the 9th, trying to mount a comeback against Chatham-Kent. Well, Zach, you know there's one guy who the Maple Leafs would love to be coming up in this inning, and it's Connor Lewis. Unfortunately for them, that possibility seems unlikely as he's hitting in the number 9 spot, and the Maple Leafs are in the middle of the order, but we might as well go back and give Toronto Maple Leafs fans a little bit of hope here. This was what happened the last time the Maple Leafs were trailing in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they were here at Dominico Field. The 1-2, Connor Lewis in the air, left field, gone! Connor! And that was Connor Lewis hitting a walk-off 2-run home run against the Brantford Red Sox last Sunday. Brantford brought in Josh Laukkanen, their ace starting pitcher, knowing that they needed a win to try and shut it down, and then that happened. Connor Lewis with the walk-off gene, and he's hoping to pass on that clutchness to one of his teammates here in the 9th.
All at the right part of the order is coming up. John Solazo, who's been hitting the ball extremely well all day today. Ryan Dos Santos, who has had a golden eye, it seems, all season long. And then you got Marcus Connect, whose bat has been heating up as of late. So should be interesting to see it, but they're in tough here. They have a good reliever facing them. It's Garrett Day, who we talked about a little bit. He has a really funky delivery. It's kind of hard to pick with the ball out of his hand.
Yeah, an ERA under 2. He's pitched over 20 innings for Chatham-Kent this season, and he's the guy. And he's a good choice to try and shut this thing down. Solazo hits it off the end of the bat and fouls it off, and the count's 1-1.
And again, between these two teams, nothing really to play for, but besides the bragging rights and the pride to end your season off on a victory. And I think that's kind of more so what's coming out right now.
The 1-1. Solazo hits it softly on the ground. Robert Mackey at second. Throws to first in time to get the out.
And it just looked like Day had Solazo way out in front of an off-speed pitch. Solazo tried to hold back, and he couldn't. But if you're Dos Santos coming up now, just continue to have a good game like you have. So far, 1 for 3, but his one hit is that big RBI double he had back in his last at-bat.
Ryan Dos Santos thinking about bunting and takes ball 1.
He has the speed to do it. We haven't really seen him lay down too many bunts this season. But one guy, if there was a guy to do it, he would be the one.
Day puts one over the plate, and it's 1-1. Dos Santos chops one towards third base, picked up by Butcher. Throw to first, welcome to the game. What a play, 2 away. Jalen Butcher, fresh into the game, was playing slightly in, right near the grass with the threat of Ryan Dos Santos bunting. He made a heck of a throw and was in perfect position.
Yeah,
and it's 2 away.
If Dos Santos hits that on the first pitch instead of squaring around a bunt, I think he's there safe at first. It's just unfortunate. He had the third baseman playing in, like you said, on the grass. And as he was coming back, you can see he's relaying some information to Marcus Connect, just how the pitches come in. And talked about it, Garrett Day, it's a funky delivery. It's hard to see the ball into the hand.
Well, those were the 2 lefties that you'd think would see it a little bit better against Day, with him being a righty on the mound. And now it's Marcus Connect, so this is where things get really challenging.
We know Marcus Connect, he's electric against fastballs. The off-speed has been what's given him problems so far this year, and it should be interesting because Day has some good off-speed movement.
The 0-1 inside, 1-1 on Marcus Connect. Maple Leafs could use some power here from Connect. And he takes a strike at the top of the zone. One and 2. Maple Leafs down to their final strike. The 1-2 from Day is fouled off the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers dugout.
Looked like an off-speed pitch, that Connect. He was wound up ready for that fastball, but he adjusted to foul it off. That's a good approach right there.
Dan Marra's on deck. Wants an at-bat here in the bottom of the 9th. The 1-2 to Connect is fouled off again. Marcus Connect battling here against Garrett Day, an ERA of 1.74 on the season. But a guy who induces a ton of soft contact, just 6 strikeouts in his 20 2/3 innings pitched. A 6-pitch at bat here with Marcus Connect. And another 1-2 coming. Connect fouls it off. Garrett Day kind of looked skyward, feeling that he might have left that pitch in a hittable position. A 7-pitch at bat for Marcus Connect. And can he keep the Maple Leafs alive? Bottom of the 9th. 2 outs. 1-2 from Garrett Day. Connect takes outside, ball 2.
And what a way to spit on that pitch. And I mean, those pitches have been getting called strikes here. So for Connect just to lay off like that, that's a massive take.
A gutsy take from the veteran right-handed hitter of the Maple Leafs. Can he find a way to keep it going? And it's fouled off at home plate.
How about this at bat?
A 9-pitch at bat from Marcus Connect with the game on the line. The Maple Leafs want to end the regular season on a winning note, as do the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. It's Chatham-Kent with the lead, 6-5. They're just 1 strike away. And Connect takes strike 3 called on the inside corner, and that'll do it. Garrett Day catches Marcus Connect looking, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers will finish their inaugural regular season by winning 3 games in a row, and will get ready to play either Guelph or Barrie in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how some of these playoff matchups shake out, but, you know, a good game by Chatham-Kent. And, again, impressed to say the least by Garrett Day. Looked really good on the mound, and he's going to be a force for some of these teams in the playoffs.
Should say London, not Barrie, is the alternate team for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. The Toronto Maple Leafs, though, are looking to see whether they play London or Barrie. That will be determined by what happens on Monday with the Barrie Baycats and what happens in these rained-out games that still need to be played by the London Majors. That'll be it for us here in the broadcast booth today. Thanks to everyone for tuning in for a great regular season of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball on YouTube, brought to you by MNP. And we will be back for the playoffs, and we believe that game will be at 7:30 on Saturday. We'll see you then.